happy May. What a beautiful May day it is today. I'm sitting at the park in the late evening. I had a productive just session at a cafe today. It's been a while since I wanted to get non-work things done. And there was in-person seating, but fully distanced and masked up when you need to. I got some career things, caught up with a friend while started looking at some filming equipment that I wanted to upgrade. Even though there's not that many people around, I'm still looking around. I'm just still trying to get comfortable just talking in public, even at a park where there's not that many people close by. There's some people distantly, but I don't know. Again, from my most recent video that I shared. Also, I don't know when I'm going to be publishing this, since I'm taking a break from social media this month. I don't know about YouTube. YouTube is going to be an exception, inspired by a YouTuber I follow, Allan, this person who completely deleted all social media, which, I'm proud of her, for the courage to do that. I'm not sure if I want to get that extreme yet, but, which is fine. You have different ways of approaching this. But it definitely got me thinking about just taking a break from it. And so she was talking about, she has still been creating content on YouTube, because she was talking about the nature of YouTube being different from, say, Instagram, Facebook. And, I totally agree. I consider YouTube more there's educational content on there. Yes, you can get addicted to it. Yes, there's comment section. But, I wouldn't know where I would have been, for instance, learning about personal finance, about coding. Sometimes you just want to look up how to do this thing. Sometimes the video is easier. How to video edit. Yeah. So I think it's a slightly different nature of it. So I'm still on YouTube, but I don't know when I'm going to publish it. Anyhow, if you saw my previous video, I was going to say that, which I reposted from it more than a year ago now, in November 2019, when I was talking about overthinking, about worrying too much about how people think of me. Even though, again, I was in that video saying most of the time people probably weren't thinking about you. They're probably not even judging you. You think they're judging you, but you think they're thinking something about you. In reality, we all have just our struggles to deal with, and it's just so hard. But we still think they are thinking about us, but no, they're not. Chances are they're not. And if they are, okay, so what? Unless they verbalize it and offend you or something, right? But if they don't, you don't know what's going on in your head. Just if you see someone walk by, they'll probably think the same thing. They're ooh, they're scared, what is this person? Why is this person looking at me? What is this person thinking of me, right? Even though you're probably not thinking of them, right, at that moment. So, but it's always easier said than done, and especially when it's about others, it's easier said than done. But when it's about you, you just tend to start thinking too much. And it's just funny, after a year, it is still a theme for me. And I've just been having conversations like these about just how, you just have to keep reminding yourself, finding ways to distract yourself from doing stuff. Keep reminding yourself that, no one's thinking about you. Everyone is in the same position. They're not thinking about that. Just got to keep reminding yourself. It's just weird. And so, that's exactly what I'm thinking right now still. The fact that I'm looking around shows that I'm literally talking about, don't overthink. People aren't thinking about you. Yeah, I'm still looking around. It's just, it's a loop. But anyhow, I'm, part of today, part of my work session today, which is trying to figure out what I want to do, actually try to get some stuff done, figure out my life out. In terms of the video editing, was like trying to figure out what I wanted, like trying to up my game in my hobbies. There's a couple video ideas, talking about, just trying to really put myself out there. Part of this whole self-discovery process. And yeah. Also, the other thing is just embracing silence. Like, I think not being on social media will slow me down. And like, even just when I talk, being okay with pausing more. Of course, maybe I'll cut out some of the long pauses, awkward pauses as I see fit in the editing, and it might take more time to edit. Just because you have to cut things out, it might take more space for the raw footage. But in the long run, I think it will be helpful, because oftentimes you think you're going at the right speed or you're too slow, but as like an overthinker, my head is like too fast. So I need to pay more attention to slowing down, because my brain is really good at speeding up and thinking. So I need to deliberately tell myself to slow down. Like, if I think I'm slow it down more, because to offset that overactive mind. And it's funny, like, it's something I noticed in dance as well. I also just signed up for my first comp post-COVID in a month, and so we were just practicing rounds, basically going through the songs, like how a comp is. For those who don't know, rounds is like, depending on what style you're doing. For me, I'm doing Latin. You'll go through each of the dances. For instance, so let's say in my level it would be cha-cha, rumba, samba, jive, and then it's about a minute to minute and a half. Music on. You don't get to choose the music. The DJ at the comp site will do that, and you dance. And then next dance. And so you really have to learn the routine, and then also know how to improvise if you mess up, which is another thing I had to work on, where I just freeze up because I'm overthinking so much. And then when I mess up, I'm like, just like, anyhow, I noticed, normally when I'm practicing slowly, I'm just having a good time. But when I'm like on the floor, I'm doing the rounds, when I get nervous, when I get excited even, like excited and nervous, right? When I get one song I like, I'm like feeling it, I start speeding up, my step size gets bigger. And it's just, gotta slow down. Anyhow, so in one of my favorite hoodies lately, and I was listening to her album as well. Comment below, what is your favorite song in her album? Well, it's re-recorded, so maybe her song in Fearless and her song in The Fault. I'll start. I would say You Belong With Me is like an all-time. From her, just her regular Fearless, and then from The Vault, You All Over Me